I just wanted to point out that 71% of the earth is covered with water. John and TJ can cover Michigan football for the rest.
All right. Yeah,
How
math
about
works
that?
out. Yeah, it works
Whoa.
out.
Yeah, it checks out. There's some stats for you.
Yeah, just want to give you that stat, right? So I learn something new every time I listen to both of you. So I really love being part of this program.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, we like having you on it, man. Honestly, extremely bright, Ferris. Really appreciate it.
And we have the other Ferris on here as well, so we appreciate the Ferris and Ferris perspective. And yes, Moose, you go hard in the paint on talking to these high school kids, and you take it to another level that I just don't have the time to. I wish I could. I wish I could be everywhere all at the same time and do everything. But Moose and TJ and you guys who are on it, like, I so appreciate it because you have the perspectives before a lot of us. And Jackson also reminding everybody to check out TJ, Ronin Sports Talk on Twix, and apparently YouTube channel too. So we'll be doing that. And then Ferris also, so on the links above, and absolutely check them out. So with that said, and yes, thank you, Jackson. And I know Moose also likes to post this, and thank you for that. We'll get to Amazon in a little bit as well. With all that said, if you missed our mega show that we did with Mark Rogers, voice of college football, on Saturday, we did a 2.5-hour call-in show on the spring game. So I strongly recommend, if you want our really fleshed out, detailed, play-by-play perspective of the game, definitely check that out. We took calls, some very unique individuals and personalities called in, and so we heard a lot of different members of the community. So thank you for that, and definitely check that out. But we do have some kind of wrap up takeaways, and somebody named RJ Young, who has not exactly been a friend of Michigan in the past. I think his eyes opened up after the national championship, because now all of a sudden he's saying the Michigan offense is like, it looks in the spring game looked like the Kansas City Chiefs offense, which was a very interesting take there. I don't go that far. What I'm saying is the offense is a work in progress, but better than expected. Do we see where he's coming from with Kansas City Chiefs, TJ, or what was kind of your kind of take on it?
Yeah, I mean, if I were to think NFL offenses, that's not the one I would probably relate it to. But what I think I can agree with is what we mean by that is a high-powered, highly effective offense, which it is. I mean, we were scoring 35 points a game last season. This season, we're going to have a dominant offensive line with a good running game. I would almost relate it similar to San Francisco 49ers. But if we have the Alex Orji quarterback as QB1, obviously that won't be exact like it was last season. So I would expect a more dual threat option with Orji if he is QB1. But it should be, I mean, the offensive line should be dominant. Tight end game, George Kittle, San Francisco. We have some pretty interesting wide receivers right now. We have a wide receiver battle, in my opinion. I don't think it's settled. We definitely know the X position is a position where there's going to be a battle, but yeah, I mean, I think we'll see another strong offense this season, especially with Donovan Edwards. He looks so good.
Oh yeah, back to form. We started to see it. We started to see it against Washington. That he was back, big game done, and now really looks like he's taken it up a gear. Ferris, when you looked at the offense, did you see the Kansas City Chiefs, or what did you see? When you looked at the offense, the maize and blue teams.
Yeah, I would agree with the San Francisco 49ers. I think that's a good take there. Just a note about RJ Young. So I believe he came close to going to Michigan for grad school, and I don't know, there's some bitter thoughts or something there. he said that he laughed. He was laughing when he went to the Michigan bookstore. He called it, I don't know what were exactly, probably the MDen or something. And he found a shirt that said, Michigan is just like Harvard, or something to that effect, right? So
yeah,
I think
I know that shirt.
Actually, what's that? Go ahead.
I know that shirt. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it might have been Barnes and Noble.
Okay. All right.
It might have been that one.
Now, I believe the shirt actually says, it's got the Harvard symbol there. It says Harvard, the Michigan of the East. That's what that shirt actually says. So anyway, I take what he says with a pinch of salt. I would say the possibilities, we talked about this, I think, on Saturday. Mm-hmm. If Alex Orji is the quarterback, first of all, I want to just declare that I believe that Alex Orji can complete a forward pass. I think a lot of people think that somehow that's a miraculous thing to say, but I believe he can complete a forward pass. And not only that, I think he can get to, I think TJ's number was 60%. I think he might have said 65. I'll notch it down to about 60%. Can he be a 60%? Can he get to 60%? And can he get it to the tight ends? Can he get it to fast receivers on the sides, quick out kind of situations? Can he get some yards after catch? Can he throw it to somebody who's 6'7" and get a mismatch, 5, 6, 8, 10 yards down the field, and all of a sudden he's going another 10, 15 yards. I think that is the secret to their success. It does not mean, I don't think he has to air it out 70 yards. I don't think he has to do that often in the game. Keep them honest a little bit. And if he does all of that, if that all happens, I believe Michigan will, even against good teams, should get to 5 yards a carry, maybe even 5.5 yards a carry against maybe softer teams like Ohio State. I'm sorry. in the second half, let me put it that way. Right. So as Michigan might be wearing down the defense.
Absolutely. And we have another quarterbacks topic in a little bit too, another takeaway, but okay, this one's a little controversial. I know that some people on the panel don't 100% agree, so we like this. We like debate here at the Voice of College Football. I think we may have found our final wide receiver starter with Frederick Moore. In the spring game, what he showed me was the beginning. I'm not saying he's Roman Wilson right now, but he showed me the beginning of the speed and the ability that somebody is going to need to have in that position to be able to break away against the Michigan defense, and maybe only half of the Michigan defense, but still he showed what he could do against, in my opinion, the best defense he's probably going to face the entire season. The last point I'll mention, then I'll go to TJ's point on this, but as a senior, he had more than 1,500 receiving yards, 24 touchdowns. I get it's high school, but that's still pretty good. And I think he could be the guy. TJ, I know you're big on finding someone in the portal. Are you holding to that? Are you still thinking that the X position is going to be a portal?
Yeah, so I am still locked in on an X being a portal wide receiver, but I am buying stock in Fred Moore in the sense of I think there's going to be a battle at the Y and Z positions, and I don't think it's as cemented as people think it is. Where was Samaj Morgan in the spring game? I know he's dynamic. I know he's a very talented player, but consistency is key. And if any receiver does not show consistency, there is another receiver that's going to be at the heels. And I do think Tyler Morris is going to get either, and it's not solidified, like, is Tyler Morris a Z or a Y? He could play both. Samaj Morgan can play Z or Y. They both can play that. Frederick Moore is no different, Yeah. Now I'll say this too, though. Let's say the portal doesn't work out the way we want it to. I'm more comfortable than I was about him filling in the X role, but I just think that we need a bigger body, more vertical receiver. Frederick Moore is not he doesn't seem to have a high vertical. He seems to be very quick, very fast, but we need somebody who can go and get a ball. So that's where I'm still still looking for a portal wide receiver. Although I'm not hearing too much on a portal receiver yet. The portal's still open, so anyone can enter. But we'll just have to keep our ears to the ground and see what comes from that.
Let me take the logic flow on that one step further, and let me ask you, if you could pick somebody. I know I'm putting you on the spot, but if you could pick somebody in the portal or somebody for Michigan to go after at that position, who do you like?
Well, all right. So a big one would be Keandre Lambert-Smith out of Penn State.
So
that would be a big one. There's another kid. I can't remember his name though. He just got in the portal from Arizona State.
Okay.
Now, word is we have reached out. And I should have his name, so that's on me. I should know his name. I didn't remember. The reason why I don't have it memorized is because potentially
Elijah Badger.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
He's looking for an NIL situation,
Badger.
and I don't know. Here's what we know about Michigan. Portal, they are willing to play the game. They are not willing to be highest bidder. So that's the issue with portal acquirement, player retainment, or what's what I'm looking for? I don't even know. But the point being is, like, we're willing to play ball. We're just not willing to be the highest bidder. So we'll see. Like the Nikhai Hill-Green, I don't know if you know this, or we'll talk about it later. But some interesting stuff with that too.
Yeah. Heard about Nikhai Hill-Green. So definitely.
There's more.
Oh, okay. Well, definitely remind yourself about that when we get to recruiting for sure. Ferris, what's your take on Fred Moore and just in general the wide receiver situation?
Well, first of all, that was he had a sweet reception there. I put in the chat that a DJ, are we looking for like a DJ Waller sized receiver, not on defense but on offense, a DJ Waller, that kind of size in a receiver. Maybe, but also just kind of keep in mind, we do have some giants at tight ends as well. And is it, are we tight end heavy? Are those the primary targets? Are the tight ends the primary target? So, just some thoughts there. We didn't talk about Kendrick Bell, Lamarion Stewart, Peyton O'Leary. So any of those, I was at the game. It's kind of hard to see everything that's going on. Any thoughts about kind of that second wave, second string, if you will, receivers?
I hope Kendrick Bell does well. Brother of Ronnie Bell. TJ, do you like him?
Yeah, I mean, but he's young. I don't think he's ready. He looks a little raw, to be honest. He's still learning the position. He's formerly a quarterback, right? Very athletically gifted, but not quite polished yet. And that's the thing too, is if we look at Kirk Campbell's comments after the game, they said we are not looking for a quarterback in the portal. That's not going to happen. And they said we are looking to add a couple receivers in the portal. So there will be some portal acquisition. And that is the word I was looking for, by the way, was acquisition. But so I just think they're going to try and find the solution. I don't know who at the moment. There's not any smoke at this time.
And then what about Samaj Morgan? Why was he sort of?
Why was he what? Like MIA?
Yeah, I mean, in the spring game, I think you kind of hinting at Samaj Morgan didn't have the greatest spring game.
Yeah, he was very quiet. He just didn't.
I didn't see anything from him.
He just didn't seem to make plays, or his number wasn't called. Really, I mean, you could say maybe just the ball wasn't thrown his way. There was obviously obviously 4 different quarterbacks playing, so. And he had 2 different quarterbacks. So, I mean, maybe there's just no consistency, lack of chemistry. It could be a number of things. It's spring game too. And like we talked about with Mark, it's one of 15 practices. So maybe today wasn't his day. I mean, honestly, here's another thing too. And let's not forget this offseason, they're all going to get better. They're all going to get faster and they're all going to get stronger. So these kids, what we saw Saturday, come September, they're going to be even better. So I'm going to, in terms of individually, individual development. But I think Samaj could be the guy, man. He really could be a dude. It's just he's still young too. Remember, he's only a sophomore. Like, he got playing time as a true freshman. Very hard to do.
Yeah, and maybe he was just put like in a he's definitely starting type capacity where
I don't know.
They know that he's going to be a starting wide receiver and a starting return guy, and so you don't want to put him out there too long. Like Donovan Edwards was only out there for a couple, like 1 or 2 series, so maybe it was the same type of situation.
So
maybe.
I want to hit on Peyton O'Leary because Corey's put him out there. Peyton O'Leary, he's like the he's like the like Cinderella, like we want to see it. Hey, maybe he can take the opportunity this fall and win. Unfortunately, he couldn't haul in that pass on Jair Hill that he almost lost him. That would have been amazing. But I mean, maybe Peyton O'Leary can be the dude this fall camp. We'll just have to wait and see.
I'm not saying will yet, but I'm saying based on what I saw, I think it is now possible that Michigan could go 10-2, make it through the playoffs, and repeat as national champions based on the fact that was probably the best defense Michigan's going to face until Oregon at least. And that's if we're being generous. Otherwise, probably late in the playoff. TK, what? Ohio State, that's true. Ohio State's built up their defense a lot. Yes.
Yeah. So, all right, my position is this. As the roster stands, I think we can be a playoff team. I think being a playoff team is a thing. As the roster stands, I don't think we have enough to be a national champion. But add a wide receiver, add a right tackle, because there appears to be smoke that they're not comfortable at right tackle. Andrew Gentry is just not consistent. The other 4 seem very locked in and cemented, which would be Miles Hinton, Josh Prevey, Crippen, and then Giovanni El-Hadi. That seems to be the 4 who are locked in, and then the right tackle seems to be a question mark right now. Get us a right tackle, get us an X wide receiver, get another corner for competition, which they seem to want to do. I agree. Jair Hill and DJ Waller look good, but the word is out of Ann Arbor that they want to get another corner to battle with them. They want to get linebacker depth. They want to add a defensive tackle to play nose tackle next to Rayshon Benny. So you got to add that, which we'll talk about coming up. And then another safety. We need to add another safety for depth reasons. And then if we can add majority of those positions, I mean, mainly if we can add I know I'm running here, but a wide receiver, a right tackle, a corner, and a defensive tackle, I'm comfortable, and I could say we could probably compete for a national title.
Boom. Bears.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I just put in the optimistic point there. Regression to 10-2 on their way to a title. Okay. All right. Well, here's how I look at it. They have to take care of business. They had a lot of good luck last year. Let's be honest, right? Injury wise, they had to do something to beat Ohio State. Things could have gotten fluky at the end there. They had to do something at the end. They had to complete a 4th down pass in order to beat Alabama. They had to have a drive, stop Alabama, then have another drive to win that, and then stop Alabama again to win that game. So there a lot, an analytics person saying luck is a big factor. Okay. That being stated, the bar to get into the playoffs is so much lower. Many, many years over the last X number of years, the loser of the Ohio State-Michigan game, it was all or nothing. The winner gets what they want or gets to the place they want to be. The loser, that's it. That's their whole season is ruined. That's not going to happen anymore. The game is going to be more like a game from my point of view. And all you have to do is punch your ticket to get in, make sure that you're healthy. Maybe Alex Orji's not doing too well at the beginning, that maybe he lost the game, Michigan loses the game against Texas. But then he kind of replicates the trajectory of Milroe. And by the end of the year, he's a good, very good, excellent, maybe even excellent quarterback, dual threat quarterback. That's the path. Now, schedule is a lot harder this year than it was last year. But on the other hand, the bar is lower to get in. So I would say once you're in, then, let's just have some fun once we get there. I just want to get
I think
in.
we're gonna drop a game or two. I think I think only the most optimistic, and there is somebody in here saying 12-0, Borge Warner, but I think most fans, except for the most optimistic, are expecting to drop one or two. But even if you drop one or two, you're still in the playoff with the 10-2 or 11-1, especially Big Ten, and especially with the strength of schedule. Like Michigan has an actually good, decent strength of schedule this year.
It's like the toughest schedule all year. It's the toughest schedule in the nation. It's insane.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, maybe Florida has a harder one. That's about it.
These guys had something to do with those clutch plays against Alabama too. Wasn't all luck. They had something to do with it too. But
I'm just saying one little fluke. That fourth down play was maybe a foot away from being deflected, or maybe even less, 6 inches away from being deflected. Absolutely. So, we should count our blessings for that. We've had a lot of bad luck over the years, so that so I will say they can get into the playoffs. If they can get into the playoffs, they can win the whole thing. Just
Absolutely.
Just quick statistical note. Most people think, they're going to be favored in 9 games. And they're going to be the clear underdogs in 3 games, Oregon, Ohio State, and Texas. Okay, even if they have a 1 in 3 chance of winning each of those 3 games, I'm just giving you a statistical, just add up the numbers. You have a greater than 50-50 chance of winning 1 out of those 3 games. You could win 2 out of 3, but winning 1 out of those 3 games. If they win one out of those 3 games, and they finish the year 10-2, very high likelihood that they're in.